This is going to be my weekly makeup basket. Now, if you've never seen one of these videos before, all I do is I just go through my makeup. I kind of pick out some stuff that I want to wear for the whole week ahead of time, and then in the mornings when I'm getting ready, I can just, pull out the basket of stuff and it's all there for me to just pick and choose from. So I have the Estee Lauder Resilience Lift Extreme Radiant Lifting Makeup, and this is in Nude, which is 1C1. And this is a pretty decent foundation. I just feel like it's a really thin consistency, and it's a very light shade, actually. So wearing this in the summer isn't ideal, but I would like to move this out because I got this pretty early on in the summer of last year. This actually is something that I've been contemplating putting into my next project pan just because I want to move it out sooner rather than later, and I feel like I could mix this in with some of my darker foundations to move through it a little bit quicker. So there's that. For my concealer, I just have one this week. This is the Maybelline Dream Lumi concealer clicky pen things. This one is in Radiant, so they do have some that match your skin tone a little bit better, but this one is more for brightening. I really like using this one underneath the eye area just because I feel like it has a little bit more of a pink tone, so it brightens a bit. For my powder, just to deepen up the foundation right here just a little bit, I have the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in Light Plus. Like I said, it has a little bit more yellow in it than I'm used to, so this one definitely darkens up any foundations that are a bit too light. So I really love how finely milled this is, and it doesn't really get cakey on the skin. One of my absolute favorite bronzers of all time, this is the NARS Laguna bronzer. This is the big, huge mumbo jumbo size, and I was under the impression that these were $30, but I think they're like $39, which is absolutely insane. That's it there in the pan. There is a swatch on the back of my hand. The lighting, I'm kind of sitting at an angle because the light is leaving quickly. I just got home from work, so anyway, if you were thinking about picking this up or trying it out for the first time, I would highly recommend picking it up around the VIB sale since it is such a higher priced bronzer. It's crazy that it's so expensive. But onto my blush, I have two of them as usual. So for the front part of my cheeks, I wear a lighter one, and that is going to be the NYX blush in Angel. But for the further back part of my cheeks, I like wearing one that has a little bit more pigment to it, something a little bit darker, and that's going to be one of these Jordana blushes. These have a really lovely formula, and I think they're about $2.49 at Kmart. Anyway, this is in Rose Silk. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. It's number 32. This is a fantastic everyday kind of easy pink shade. I really love this color. When I went through and did my blush decluttering, I do have a lot of blushes that are this same kind of shade, but I had to save this one. It was absolutely a must. So here are some swatches of those. That in the middle there is the NYX blush in Angel, and then this one is the Rose Silk from Jordana. Now the NYX one goes over the top of the Jordana one pretty nice because it does have that kind of light sheen to it, so I think it blends these two pretty seamlessly together. My highlighter this week is going to be the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in Highlight 01. That is the front of the case there. Ooh, I love this stuff so much. This even made it into my top 14 discoveries. Top 14 high-end discoveries from 2014. It is a gorgeous product. If you put enough down, it almost looks like it has a wet finish on your skin. It's right there. But you can also apply it very lightly, and it just puts a sheer kind of luminous glow on your skin. So here is a swatch of it right there where my middle finger is. I just think it looks absolutely stunning when the light hits it, and I really like the fact that you can kind of change the degree of how intense it is on your skin. So if you want a really intense highlight that day, you can apply a little bit extra. If you just want something a little bit more subtle, this is definitely the way to go. So for some of my eye products, I have a Maybelline Color Tattoo right here in Pure Nude. This is actually part of my Finish 4 by 4th of July, so I'm not going to show you a sneak peek of my progress, but I just did an update on that project. It's my last update before the end of that challenge, so I'll link that down in the description box below. But it actually has about the same shade. It's kind of like a iridescent creamy beige shade, like the highlighter. Usually I will put one layer down and let it dry down for just a little bit and then dab a second layer on and put a little bit under the bottom lash line just to, it's a little bit sheer unless I put the 2 layers down. So anyway, the eyeshadow palettes that I wanted for this week, obviously I have the Lorac Pro palette because I'm trying to pan this year, and I also included a Physicians Formula trio in last week's weekly makeup basket, and it was from their baked collection. This was in baked berries, and I loved it so much that I decided to include it again this week. I don't usually do that, but it's a really lovely trio, and all 3 of these almost have sort of a shift, like a very light pink shift to the shades, so they go really well with the Lorac Pro palette with the light pink, the pewter shade, and mauve. So these 2 are a fantastic pair. If you have these in your collection, I suggest pulling them out and trying to wear them together. For the waterline, I typically always have some sort of a nude liner in my basket. I put it in my waterline every morning just to look like I'm a little bit more awake, especially getting up earlier lately. So this is the Rimmel Scandalized Waterproof Kohl Liner in Nude. Really love this thing. I think it's about $3.98 at Walmart's or something. It's pretty cheap. It's very reasonable, and it lasts for a very long time since you just used it in the waterline. Then I have the Jordana 12 Hour Made to Last Liquid Eyeliner Pencil in Espresso Last. This is a really deep, dark, chocolatey brown shade. Oh man, this one's really pretty. And it almost looks black. So that is it right there on my hand. You have about 15 to 20 seconds before these dry down and they set. Once they set, they're pretty much budge proof on my eyes, but they're so creamy, they're so smooth, and they stick around forever on your eyes. I love these pencils. I believe these are $2.49 at Walgreens too, and Kmart. So you can find them at Kmart as well. Then, if I wanted something a little bit different, something completely out of the norm, I have an item here that I'm trying to finish up before the end of 2015, and you know, I played with it here or there, but I really need to start throwing it into my weekly makeup baskets and making a point to use it a little bit more frequently, or else there's no chance that I'm going to be able to finish this up by the end of the year. This is the MAC Fluid Line in Dark Envy. It's just a kind of forest green, I would call it. Kind of a deeper dark green. You can also use the fluid lines as a kind of a cream base before you put down dry eyeshadows. So I just used a really thin eyeliner brush and run it along the upper lash line. I can also use the waterline, or I can use the fluid lines in my waterline. So that's always a plus. 2 mascaras for this week. I have one that feels like it's trying to dry out just a little bit, so it's getting a bit clumpy. That is the YSL Effect Faux Cil Mascara. This came from Influencer. I'll link a video where I did a review on this for Influencer down in the description box down there. It's starting to dry out just a smidgen, so like I said, it is getting a little bit clumpy. It has a pretty cool wand though. It has a microfiber wand, like the bristles are microfiber, so it's pretty awesome. So there's that, and then just to comb through that a little bit so it doesn't get too intense, I have the little mini sample of the Benefit They're Real Mascara, one of my all-time favorite mascaras. I just seem like I tend to poke myself in the eye a lot when I apply this, but I love it nonetheless. Then for my eyebrow products, I went back to something, you know, old school this week. This is the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo. This one's in the brunette and dark brown. This is actually in the old packaging. I think they just changed up the packaging not too long ago, but I believe this one is brunette and this one's dark brown. I could be entirely wrong, but I have hit pan on that lighter shade there. So I just put this one down first, and then I go over the top of it with the little mini sample of the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, and that seems to hold my eyebrows in place. They've been a little bit nuts lately. I've mentioned this probably 2 or 3 times on my different videos, but I've been trying to let my brows grow in just a little bit lately for the past, I don't know, about 3 or 4 weeks. So I don't know. I don't think they're getting much thicker than they are now. So. Anyway, moving on to some lip products. So I have a lipstick that is in my Finish 4 by the 4th of July. That is my MAC lipstick. It's a matte formula. This one is in Please Me. It's just a sort of, you know, mid-tone, kind of warmer, pinky shade. It has a hint of red to it. But that is it there. I usually wear this one up at the office, and then when I come home I'll switch it up and throw something else on. So there's that one. And then I wanted something completely on the opposite side of the spectrum, so I pulled out another MAC lipstick, but this one is one of their Sheen Supremes, and this is in the shade Asian Flower. Love this thing. I remember last year I picked this up during the springtime, so it's just a really kind of intense purple shade, but it's actually light enough that it doesn't look crazy on the lips. So the difference between these two is that obviously the color, but on the formula, like I mentioned, the Please Me shade is matte, and then the Sheen Supremes, they're all this really shiny, super moisturizing formula, so you can definitely tell a difference in the finish on those two. But for a gloss to throw over the top of the Please Me shade, I have this little mini of the Buxom full-on lip cream in Pink Lady, and it's just a little mini sample, and I only have from about here down. So over half of this is finished up. I just need to finish off the rest of it. It would probably take me less than a week if I just, you know, took a little bit of time to finish it up. But that is a little swatch of it right there. To the last lip product, it's sort of a tinted lip balm when I really don't want anything fussy on my lips, or if I just want something quite moisturizing. This is the Clinique Chubby Stick Baby Tint in the shade Flowering Freesia, and they look like this. This is just a deluxe size sample. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see that, but right where my middle finger is there, I have a swatch down. It does look really gorgeous on the lips. I was wearing this, I think I was wearing this yesterday. So finally moving on to my perfumes. I typically have 2 perfumes in my makeup basket at all times because, one, I like to keep a smaller perfume in my purse and carry it with me, like up to the office, in the car, anytime that I need to, you know, apply a little bit more perfume. I always like to have one in my purse. And then that one this week is going to be the Giorgio Armani C. I just have a little baby travel, you know, sample size of a perfume. My main perfume that I would spray on every morning, that one is going to be the Taylor Swift Wonderstruck Enchanted perfume. I love this one. She has 2 perfumes out that look kind of similar. This one is more of a reddish purple kind of shade, and then her other one is more of like a blue purple, and it's just called Wonderstruck. So I love this. If you're into those really sweet scents, kind of like Viva La Juicy, but with more of a berry scent to it, like a strawberry or raspberry or something, this is definitely up your alley. So this is one of my all-time favorite perfumes. I've been noticing that it's kind of becoming a little bit harder to find recently. But anyway, that is it. That is all of my makeup for this week. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.